Ladies and gentlemen, our country is falling apart.
The nation is in mourning tonight.
Our institutions are failing. Crime is out of control. It is our duty to fix it. We are touching on every sector of society. Race, class, and corruption. Nothing is off limit. No holds barred. The Cold Truth with Kim Cole. The power belongs to the people. Join us right here, Monday to Sunday, 4:45 p.m. to 5:45 p.m.
Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. To our regional and international audience, we say good evening and thank you all for tuning in to The Cold Truth, where we get to the root of the issues affecting us as a nation. Now, I'd like to find out what is going on with our nation's children. How are we failing them that they could think that this kind of behavior is acceptable? Parents sacrificing and working to earn money to send you all to go to school, and look at the way you misbehave for the whole world to see. Now, this is a video that has been circulating on social media, and the reports indicate that two girls of a secondary school in Port of Spain got involved in a fight this afternoon. And if I could ask my director to play the clip from the beginning again. Let's go through what is happening here. At that point, you could see the girls fighting. And what I am seeing is the children, school children, literally, you know, hopping over and stampeding over one another, jumping on top of people's vehicles, defacing private property. Look at this. This is the children. This is our future. Is this the future of Trinidad and Tobago? Our telephone lines are open this afternoon, 622-9785 or 628-6093. That is the number to call in to be a part of this evening's discussion. Let us talk about what's going on with our nation's children. You can also call in 235-3673 or 235-3676. Now, a bit later on in our program, we have developed a new segment on The Cold Truth called Party Poopers, and I guarantee you're going to want to stay tuned for that. Hi, good afternoon. Caller, you live?
Good afternoon, how are you?
Good afternoon, my dear. I'm very well, thank you.
Same here, same here. This is totally ridiculous. I don't understand. These children are getting free education. Go to school and learn something instead of all this fighting. This is ridiculous. I don't know what to say again. I don't know if the government can put some program in place that some of these children could go and cut grass or pick up rubbish on the side of the road. I don't know if this is what they want to do.
Some sort of community service.
Yes, and I think it has to be something where they're out in the hot sun from 7 in the morning till 4 o'clock in the evening, and then probably they may appreciate what the government is giving them, and probably some parents may be working really hard to give them, you know, this education, clothes, food, and everything like that. It's totally ridiculous, and it's not even one school. Prestigious schools have their own dramas. It's just that they hush it up pretty well, and the other schools, well, I guess they just advertise it for the whole world to see.
So, Cora, let me ask you something. If this was one of the vehicles that the children are trampling over, if it was your car, and you are seeing this kind of damage done to your vehicle, you as an adult, how would you deal with that?
Well, I would like to say I would run downstairs and do something, but then, look, there's a mob of children there, so you might try to intervene to do something, but you might end up getting beaten in the process. That's the reality. I'm sure those people may have been around watching their vehicles getting vandalized, but they couldn't do anything.
And then what sort of recourse you now have?
Well, I think if there's some sort of CT footage and the police could pull it up, then probably they could look at it from that point of view and probably charge the children or some sort of action taken. So hopefully, I don't know, probably they wouldn't do it again.
Oh, I don't know. I am seeing children, you know, running across a rubbish truck.
This person's blue car, yes. I looked at it and I was like, but wait. I say some of these young men and these young women want to go for the WW Wrestling Federation something, because, I mean, I don't understand.
Well,
I don't understand.
Two of us in the same boat. I don't understand. But I mean, I'm hearing you giggling, but this is a very serious matter. Now I am seeing at least 75 children there in a mob.
And possibly more, because I was like, when I saw the footage, I was like, okay, probably I just assumed something happened in Port of Spain and people were running. I did not know it was a two children scuffling. I didn't know it was that. I just assumed and I said, oh my God, what is happening in Port of Spain?
And look at them running across the road while the truck driving.
I honestly hope, I don't know, it just seems as if crime and everything just spiraling out of control, and all we can do is probably hope whatever the government may put in place to start a clampdown will work.
Well, thank you so much for your contribution.
Okay, then you have
I myself, I don't have the answers. What do you do? How do you fix the situation? Do we reintroduce corporal punishment into the children's schools? Is that the answer? Now, I am not one who believes in, you know, beating children and, you know, that kind of thing. But how do you deal with this? This is madness going on there. Hi, good afternoon, caller, you're live.
Good evening, Miss Cole.
Tanti,
to see
how
you.
you doing?
As always, I look forward to this program. This is my day's joy. Miss Cole, well, I am cold.
You're cold?
I am cold looking at what you are showing me transpiring in Port of Spain today.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I would like to say, you know, where you can't, yeah, I'm in shock. One policeman or woman, one, not one of them around the area to see these children behaving in such a manner. Miss Cole, I know you grew up you lived in England. You know around schools, the areas, we always have police around the areas in case of anything.
Absolutely.
Always.
And you know something, Tanti.
And
you know something, Tanti. I don't know if you noticed or you could attest it. You ever realize that the police in England don't carry guns?
And that is another thing. I remember the little girl going to Rockhouse Manor, and it's snow, and I'm slipping and sliding, and the policeman appears from nowhere to cross me over the, whether he likes me as a black person or not. This is what I was saying. The police are different. But coming back to this, Miss Cole, I cannot believe one police. This is where we fail. And I would like to go back to Mr. Garcia. He's always telling the children and the parents, everything is fine and dandy. Nothing is wrong. Children's disobedience has gone through the window. Everything is, you know,
everything hunky-dory
and shortcake. What is this, Mr. Garcia? You have to stop sleeping in Parliament. Wake up, smell the roses. This is our next generation. Unless they want to be ruled and become slaves. Come on. And allegedly, it seems as though you want to make us slaves. Because it's only a certain people seem to be getting the honey and the cream. And I don't know, we accept the fact that we are slaves from childhood. And, you know, there we go. Ms. Cole, I am disappointed in the school system.
But, Tans, let me ask you something. Let me throw a little pepper on it this evening because it's Friday. You realize the kind of children or the particular race of children that you're seeing on your screen here?
No. Now, Miss Cole, I'm looking, and yes, it is mostly of African descent. But I want to tell you, Miss Cole, these children have nothing to look forward to. Nothing. And they follow the peers, the leader of the pack. And we've got to get to the root of it. I'm not a psychologist. I'm just a little old lady fighting to keep up with technology and the times.
Mm-hmm.
So when I see a program like yours that hits and you have no affiliation to any government in you. The cold truth, I'm glued on to you. So, you know, it's African children, but where do we start? Where do we start motivating them? Where, you know, who is in charge? You know, it's got to be the village, the area you live in. It's got to be the police. It's got to be the Minister of Education. It's got to be our teachers and parents. It's got to be the church. We all have to get together. Otherwise, Miss Cole, I cry for my children every day, like Bob Marley said. A generation will be lost.
But I mean, it looked like it lost already. These children are between the ages of at least 13, 14, 15. And look at the manner in which they behave in their school uniform. You think I could have been getting on so when I was going to school, Tanti?
No, even in England I couldn't. I was respectful, you know, not afraid of, but I had to show the policeman respect. I was in England at the time at tacky bashing, but as I said, the police divided like 7 hats, red hats, yellow hats. I'm a policeman, I have to do my duty. And I had to show respect to my teacher, my policeman, my lady serving the meal. Those days we used to get our meals in the canteen. Respect, I go in the bus, good morning, where do you answer? That's how we were brought up. Miss Cole, I see how respectful you are, how beautiful you are, how articulate. You're not arrogant, pompous, well educated, and I laud you.
Oh, Tanti, thank you so much for your kind words this evening. Hello? Sounds like Tanti out. But where do we start? Where do we start? How do we fix it? I really want an answer this evening because this cannot continue. Hi, good afternoon, caller, you're live.
I think this could be fixed, you know. You're all saying that it cannot be fixed. Number one, I give that recommendation some time ago, and you know people don't pay it no mind. I'm saying number one, you just cannot reintroduce corporal punishment in school anymore because you'll be endangering the lives of all the teachers because how these children are behaving today. You cannot talk about teachers going and reprimand the children. That's out of the question. But my alternative is, and my recommendation, every one of these children that is misbehaving there, each of them are parents.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Hello?
Yes.
You give the parents a ticket, just like how you give the vehicle. When you drive in a motor car, you are responsible for your child. You pay $1,000 for any time the child misbehaves. When the second time they misbehave again, they charge $2,000. And I am telling you, these parents will make sure and ensure that the children behave properly in the school and otherwise. Think of what I'm saying.
Mr. Monroe, could I please ask you to just hold on for a second, guys? Let me get a split screen, please. Thanks. Now, Mr. Monroe, I'm happy that you called in this afternoon because I really wanted a perspective from an elder, somebody, you know, respectable within the communities. Now, I have seen that there is a gentleman who I have known, he has been around you for about, as long as I can remember, years, at least 7 years. And as far as I can remember, Mr. Monroe, you there? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
Yes, my dear, good afternoon. Caller, you're live.
Yeah, hello?
Yes, you are live.
Yes,
Hello?
Yeah, what cut off?
Yes, Mr. Monroe. Sorry about that. What I want to ask you, there is a gentleman that you have, well, I have seen him around you, and as far as I could remember, he was, you know, veering off the straight and the narrow road. Perhaps maybe, can you give us some sort of recommendation so as to how you were able to bring that guy, you know, onto the straight and narrow for the years that I have seen him around you?
Which gentleman you're speaking about? Not Goldie?
Yes, Gold Teeth.
Well, I mean, by counseling him, speaking to him, showing him an example of all what you see in there now, and I explained to him about my childhood days. I didn't come from a rich family, and this is something that I always say. None of the government ever used my skills to say that, use me as an example to speak to children. And to
but Mr. Monroe, this is the government here. This is the cold truth, and the people, they appreciate what you have to offer. So this is the government. Let us hear your recommendation.
Well, look, I give the recommendation there. This recommendation, don't take that slide. Each one of these children, they have parents. And if you give the parents a ticket and you let them know why you give them the ticket, for the children misbehaving, and if they continue, each time you'll get a ticket not under $1,000, and up, just like a motor car ticket. And I'm telling you, then they will get down on these children will have to be disciplined. So in terms of, let's say, in terms of putting back corporal punishment in school and things, that is out of the question, because these young fellows, they now, they will deal with the teachers. They know it's not the parents. Them teachers cannot really discipline these children again.
Right.
But I'm saying, as I said, it has to start from home. Like the gentleman, I started with him since I took him from Duke Street when I was building the building there. And many of the fellows that I took from Duke Street, I remember when I was building that building there, and I remember, I mean, and that is not, I mean, I am not hitting nobody, but I remember I wrote Marlene, at the time she was the minister of, she was the minister of, it's culture minister, yes?
Culture.
And yes, and that is our constituency, and I asked her to come and speak to the fellows, because when at the time the late Patrick Manning was saying that Trinidad don't want to work.
Right.
It's those fellows all in Nelson Street, George Street, and all them these areas that I speak to them. And it was the fastest building that built in Trinidad and Tobago. Anybody would tell you that with these same fellas, by speaking to them, comforting them. And I asked her to come and speak to them, you know, to give them, you know, motivate them. And so she never, she said, no, and she never. And people usually, I hear people sometimes talk and say that she's so good in the community. I can't say that. And the same young fellas, and some of them still working on the building, doing security. And so, because I train them and I tell them, stay out of problems, stay out of crime. And a lot of them make a lot of change, and I'm so happy because some of them name is on the building, as you know, I put a plaque.
Right.
I didn't put no government ministers on the plaque. I put all the workers, the masons, the carpenters, the laborers, the plumbers, the electrician, and everybody name. And that is who is on all my property, all the people who labor and work in it. I put their names on the building.
So you have to give
people incentive.
Right. So you're saying that the children, they need guidance, they need nurturing, they need counseling.
But definitely, some of them realize that the parents don't care. Tell them, well, do what you want to do. But if the parents feeling the brunt of the problem, as I say, and they know they will be charged, they would call the children and say, listen, let me tell you something. You cannot go to school and behave in a discourteous manner. You have to be, I mean, positive and make the family feel proud. You cannot get on that kind of manner in the issue, but they know anything goes in Trinidad and Tobago, and believe you me, we become a lawless society. It is no buts and maybe about that, because nobody saying nothing, nobody doing anything, nobody even attempting to try to stop what is happening. So I don't want to stay too long on your line.
Thank you so much. Thank you
but
so
I'm
much.
saying it is a disaster what happening to Trinidad and Tobago. And one of the things before I leave, and I keep saying it all the time, the saddest thing in my heart, that idea that came forward with the Black Caucus, and those people rejected it with somebody that was genuine and really wanted to see our people change their lives, just like how my life changed, and come to something positive, start from humble beginning. And I wanted them to show that they could have reached the highest height without depending on anyone. And they turned down that and take food from people, listening to people talking all kind of funniness that is not real, and that is how that's everything just fall apart and we become slave again.
Right.
Because I am a part of it, because when they slave all around us, and they box us in, I end up in it, and that is what I try to avoid.
Right.
But so what? Someday they say Ethiopia just put their hands again, so something might come forward. God bless you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your contribution, Mr. Monroe. Very well respected elder icon in the society. Hi, good afternoon, caller. Caller, you live.
Hi, good afternoon to you.
Yes, good afternoon, my dear. How are you doing?
Hello, Miss Kim, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Caller, please listen to me on your TV and, sorry, please listen to me on your telephone and not your television. Mute, as a matter of fact, mute your TV when you call into the program. Now, what I have seen there, and if I could have the clip running on a split screen still, I am seeing children who are out of control. They are totally out of control. Now, one of the things I have, realized has been happening as of late is that children have no respect. Ill-mannered. Do you think when I was growing up, I could have walked down the path, walked down the street and see people and not say good morning, good evening, please and thank you, or excuse me? This is where we have reached in Trinidad and Tobago as a people. Hi, good afternoon, caller, you're live.
Miss Kim, I'm sorry to call again, but I'd like to agree with that caller, the elder, Mr. Monroe. Well-respected gentleman, and he comes up with brilliant ideas for the African people. It's such a shame they reject it always. They need something like the Mahasabha, African whatever, if it's Black Panther, whatever, to have something to say. This is mine and I can strive and I own this. You see, that is a point. The point also, you must have something, as Mr. Monroe said, and you must have a penalty system, which I didn't think of. Brilliant. And you see all those cars that are being distressed, go to the ministry and from that fund, get the money when you pick them up on the TV and give the people the remuneration for what the children are doing to their cars as well. Thank you, Ms. Cole. Thanks out.
Thank you so much for validating the contribution of the previous caller, Tanti. But I want to hear from the elders because clearly, as it stands now, we do not have the answers. We do not have the remedy. We are in a problematic state. When you see a mob of children, it looks like 75, 100 children, misbehaving without consequence. Hi, good afternoon, caller, you're live.
Hello, am I live?
Yes, good afternoon, my love, you're live.
Good afternoon. I was listening to what Mr. Monroe was saying, and I quite agree with him. But I have to add also that sometimes parents are really very ignorant. Sometimes children have children, and they have to be taught how to parent those children. So as well as giving them a ticket and charging them, instead of that, sometimes you could give them a ticket and make sure that there are 10 classes in parenting.
Right.
So if you're going to make the parent aware and pay for what they're doing, they have to also be taught to do it in a better way. And also, I think we should bring in the church. And somehow, in the various areas, the community areas, to bring in the churches in those areas to help these children and to help the parents. This might sound like, well, you're saying that, but I think it could be done if we really put our heads and minds and hearts to it.
But caller...
Okay, you're doing a good job. Keep it up.
Thank you so much. I would have liked to engage you on your point about churching, but I remember that religious knowledge or religious instruction, it was removed from the government schools, some time ago. Do you think that that has, played a role in the level of morality or conduct that we see exhibited by the nation's children? Caller, you're live. Good afternoon.
Cole, Kim?
Yes, my love. How are you doing?
Well, I'm there. I like everything what Mr. Monroe said. You have to hit the parents where it hurts. You can't let things go out of hand with them children. You understand?
Yes.
In our days, we never used to get them kind of thing. You understand? The children out of hand, I wouldn't say all, some of the children, most, like they've gone out of hand. And it's according to the training some of them get. Because the Bible tells you, train your child in what you shall go, so when they wouldn't depart from it. And if you train your child in the proper way, you wouldn't get those kind of things you see going on there. You understand? when you have parents walking with the pants under the buttocks, the underwear showing and all kind of things, and them is the parents were having children. Eh? What you expect is a whole breakdown, and something had to happen. The police are not supposed to be on top of them foolishness going on there. When you look around, you can see a police inside. We are all the police. Trinidad have many police than some countries. We are the police and them does this. Something must be done because you could say the whole breakdown in society. Something must be done drastically, and I agree with Mr. Monroe. Hit the parents where it hurts. And what is school where it's coming from, and target them. I can understand what kind of really going on if you leave them things to go on all the time. We wouldn't have no country just now.
It looks so. We mightn't have a particular people in this country.
I tell you, the whole world will conduct this greatly. What really going on? People have to be more serious in this country. And everybody laughing and having a good time like nothing happened and all them kind of things. You have people in charge. Do something. Do something with them. You send them away. They're gone out of hand. Okay, King.
Thank you so much for your contribution, my dear. Now, we're talking about the parents and the ticket system. Do you know that in Tobago, a parent of a student of a particular school in Tobago fought with a teacher? Do you know that happened today? Caller 622-978-5628-6093. Caller, you live.
Start with the parents.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon.
Hello?
Caller, you live.
Good afternoon.
Yes, my dear, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. My contribution to this is it starts in the home with the parents. You have to train your children. Charity begins at home and ends abroad. It starts with the parents. If you train your children at home how to behave and how to give respect, they would do that. This is unacceptable. I'm looking at this, and this is unacceptable. I blame the parents 100%, and I agree with Mr. Monroe. I totally agree with him. Something has to be done. We can't let this go on like that. It is getting worse and worse. Have a good evening.
Thank you so much for your contribution, my love. Now I'm hearing the parents, the buck stops with the parents, but there are some people who are becoming grandparents at 36 years old, so clearly something is wrong. You have children who are having children, and you are expecting children to guide, raise, and nurture children when the parent, who is in fact a child still, does not know better. Hi, good afternoon, caller. You are live. Hello? Hello? Caller, you live. Hi,
hello.
Yes, my dear, you're live.
Hi, Mish.
Hello?
Michelle.
Hello?
Hi, Mish.
I think you have the wrong number, my love. This is the Cold Truth with Kim Cole. As I was saying, you have children who are making children. But one of the issues that I have with all of that is, how could you have a child coming to a hospital to have a child, and the person who impregnated the child, in many instances, who are grown men, they're not being held accountable by the law? Caller, you're live.
Yes. Hi, good afternoon.
Yes, my dear, good afternoon.
Yes, it's a very interesting program. I want to give a different slant to it.
Yes.
Because I've been around for some time, and you know, people are attributing blame in all different sectors. But I remember being a member of the National Joint Action Committee from the early 1980s and early 1990s, and there were warnings from way back when that the society was going to get like that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And the same media, which is now pontificating and, you know, making all these grand statements. But the people was calling, saying you all are prophets of doom and gloom. things have to do not just with parenting, it has to do with leadership, especially political leadership. So when you see these signs and these things happening, it tells us that we are lacking badly. Everybody has to check themselves. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your contribution. The callers have the view that we are lacking leadership or political leadership. I mean, very interesting perspective. But as I was saying, you have children who are having children. You have children who don't know better. I am seeing, if you ask me, I am seeing the effects of the 80s when we had the recessions, when you had the barrel babies, as we call it. Their parents migrated, they went to the US, I mean, with the hope of providing a better life for them, and they were left behind to be raised by their grandparents, their aunts, their uncles, guardians, and so on. And from what I have seen, the research I have done, this is part of the ramifications of that. Hi, good afternoon, caller, you're live.
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
I'm looking at the group of children there, and apparently there was some fight. And these children were, because those cars are parked cars.
Right.
And those children in a mob trying to jump over these cars to see what was taking place, walked over the people's car, right? And this whole mob eventually dispersed running down Frederick Street. Now there are a few things. Firstly, someone spoke about training. People do not train their children anymore. So things that children do and get away with now, they could not have gotten away with those things before. Then standards. Our whole society have dropped standards because those same children look. People spoke about political leadership just now. Someone, I think we call it before.
Yes.
Those same children look at the examples that are being set at the top, When you have people who steal money, who practice a certain type of behavior, I can remember that back in people were accused where people came up and went to the newspaper and it was published where people were being accused of sexual harassment, sexual favors for HTC housing, and there's a whole lot of corruption.
But I mean, you're going down the road.
No one is being held to account.
I want to add to something that you're saying. Yeah. Exactly. Just last week, Friday, you're hearing one MP telling another MP, well, meet me on the pavement. You're hearing another MP accusing another member of parliament of speaking to him in a threatening manner in the tea room in the parliament. And these things are reported in the news.
There is so much taking place. And then this, I think someone of your callers, I think your caller asked you something.
Yeah.
She said that she was, no, I don't think she's the one that spoke about Mr. Garcia. I think she's the one who spoke about Mr. Garcia. And Mr. Garcia has nothing to do with it because it's about parenting, right, and about training. Mr. Garcia deals with the administration of the schools, with the principals, to make sure that the schools have enough teachers, quality teachers, for them to get the amount of money to run the schools and that sort of thing. But when you look at behavior, children's behavior, you don't hold a Minister of Education responsible for that. That starts in the house. And then when we speak about,
could I ask you to stop, please?
Yes. Yes.
With respect, as it relates to the crime in the country, would you hold the Minister of National Security responsible for the upsurge of crime?
Not necessarily. People do that.
Or for not being able to control crime?
No, people do that. You have to remember, crime is a multifaceted thing. Someone gets at a bank and he murders 4 people. The Minister of National Security could not have done anything about that, Somebody told somebody's girlfriend and they're walking down the road and they get shot. Right? The Minister of National Security can't do anything about that. Someone who's naturally delinquent in some community decides that he's going to buy a kilo, sell some drugs and get some guns, and he's a bad boy. And strangely enough,
so what is the role of the Minister of National Security?
The Minister of National Security has to administer, even though he is the Minister of National Security is not only the police service. It involves the Army, it involves the Coast Guard, and a whole number of security agencies, right? Security intelligence agencies also. And what he does, he's the administrator, and he needs to get input and feedback but more than anything else, he needs law enforcement to enforce the law. And when you hear about corruption, imagine this. I read it in the newspaper 2 days ago. Do you know it is $22.4 billion, Kim? $22.4 billion that the FIU has reported between 2016 and 2017 that has passed through our banking system.
Right.
This is $22,000 million and not one arrest.
Right.
So,
but let us go back to children
yes.
let us, because we really strain. Let us get back to children parenting.
Yes, the children. Okay, right? Because you asked me something about our national security, and all these things come together so that we could, once we reduce crime on different, because these children are looking and hearing the news, and people are doing things and getting away with it, and these children are seeing that no one is being held accountable at any level at all. So, and then people are speaking about African children. And then when you hear Israel River, they talk about African people. But we have African people who are doctors, teachers, lawyers, public servants, right? Working all over the country. They work in the oil field, they work all over the place. So this is laid out African, and they have children who they train too. This school appears to be, what's the name of that school with the blue thing? Tranquility. And what should happen, the principal should have an investigation, because all of them there know who was involved in that fight. And if people have to get suspended, they should get suspended. Their parents need to be called in. Because a fracas like that, who would you hold responsible if someone's car gets damaged?
But Kola, you just said to me
that,
that, hold on, you just said that this has nothing to do with the Minister of National Security. Well then, if you are saying that, that in this instance, the Minister of Education should not be held accountable.
No, he can't.
Then the principal shouldn't be held accountable. By your logic, it should be the parents being held accountable. But in any event...
But the principal needs to keep the image of the school. The principal needs to say, hey, you all attend this school, this is our school, and we do not want this sort of behavior because you all are misrepresenting the school.
Right.
Right.
Thank you
the principal
so
needs
much.
to do something about it in that context.
Yes, my love. Thank you so much for your contribution. We got to speed things up because we have a lot more things to discuss. The principal should intervene because they want to maintain the integrity and the image of the school. Wrong. The principal should intervene because you should want a betterment for your students. You see, this is the issue that I have with people's rational a lot of the time. We focus on the wrong things. Parents discipline their children because they don't want the children to embarrass them in public. Wrong. Discipline your child and let your child know what is right from wrong. Your embarrassment, your emotional needs and all of that is beside the point. Caller, you're live.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
My contribution is, I mean, when you look at society back in the detail, in my time, I'm almost 50. Discipline in the family was at a high.
Right.
I mean, you couldn't just go out on the road and see somebody and don't say good afternoon, good evening.
Correct.
And my take on where they decided to stop corporal punishment in school, I think that is where it had a big part to play in discipline in the schools, where students are coming to school and they can say what they want, and the teachers now have to backpedal, as you would say, because they don't want to get in any confrontation with the student, because apparently when they say something, is very difficult, you know. So, as some of the callers said, I rightfully believe that the parents have a big part to play in it. The children are only there in the school for a part of the time, where the teachers are in their role as a guide and nurture the children in the way of education. But when it comes to really upbringing the kids and showing them moral values and stuff like that, is really based, I would say, the parents' part to play.
The parents are to be blamed. The parents must accept full responsibility for what is happening. Because I'll tell you, if a police officer had, ended up, attempting to reprimand one of the children there, and the child suffered some type of injury as a result, you would see the parent, what's going on, how you could do this to my child, the police do this, what the police do. So the parent has to be responsible. Caller, you there or are you gone?
Yes, I'm hearing you. Another thing is sometimes the teachers, they take too long or they delay in dealing with issues in schools, which should be dealt with in a kind of more speedily manner. Simple things, especially like from I have kids going to second year, going up to standard 1, and I have a kid in standard 5. And sometimes you have these books now that you use as correspondence books, they call it, where you write notes to the teacher and the teacher could write back notes to you.
Right.
Right? So it's a kind of a passage between the parent and the teacher, because you can't be in school every minute. So what has happened is, if your child comes home and says, "Mommy, Daddy," I have a child in class, and they always hitting me. To me, it's just a small matter, because it's the second year. I mean, you write to the teacher and you tell them, and you wouldn't have the expectation of it's second year children, which is 6 years old or 5 years old. And
Caller, we're not talking about second year children in this instance. We're looking at 13, 14, 15-year-old teenagers.
Right, but what I'm saying is it stems from somewhere. And if you don't try and curb that attitude from an early age, they grow up with it because they're thinking, some children come to school and say, "My mother and my father is a police, you can't tell me nothing, you can't do me nothing." And I mean, that wouldn't, some people wouldn't have any effect on them.
Absolutely.
Some kids might say, "Look, see me, I don't want to be interfere with them because I know them parents is police, my parents will come in school and I will get in trouble."
Right.
So
I understand.
So it stems from the early age, and when it becomes big now, it's too late for you to correct them, because, as the old saying goes, you make the child, but you don't make their mind. So when they get big now, and they already have in their mind how society is, and you don't try and teach them from home, and they go outside and they learn it, they believe that is how it is.
Thank you so much. Yes, my dear. Thank you so much for your contribution. 622-9785, 628-6093. Caller, you're live. Hello? But you know what I would like? I would like for the parents of those two girls, as well as those two girls, to come and sit on this couch here, join me, so that we could get to the bottom of what took place and attempt to rectify the situation the way it ought to be rectified and dealt with. Hi, good afternoon, caller. You're live.
Good afternoon, sister.
Yes, my love. Good afternoon.
It have a lot of policemen trainers going to the schools and things too, and I feel even the police officers supposed to talk to the children, let them know that whatever they do, they'll have to stand the consequence. In other words, because it have these little groups something in the school, I know that I know about this. They tell their father's a policeman, and it's bullying, and there's a lot of things too. There's a lot of things that they training them really and picking up their books too, So they use this body thing, and they're picking up the books a little more often. I mean, you had a bust your brain, but pick up a books, go by somebody, look for a good friend to talk to. Let your parents send by somebody, their parents, they know where their child is and things like that. Because even the seniors, a policeman, big friend, big man, that's we too. Go do something, and he will do some kind of thing to strip from the whole thing. So it isn't really police and parents. So the police have a lot. It have nothing. Policemen know nothing that they know. Every policeman know every inch of everything that go happening in this place. Have a good evening.
Thank you so much for your contribution this afternoon, caller. As I mentioned to you earlier on, a parent and a teacher were involved in a fist fight at a school in Tobago. So we're saying that the parents are responsible. We need to hold the parents responsible. But here it is, you have a situation where the parent was unable to control themselves even at the school whilst interacting with the teacher. And if this is the behavior that the parent is demonstrating in front of the children and for the children to see, then how can we expect different from the children? Caller, you live. Hi, good afternoon.
Hello?
Yes, my dear.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, listen, I am listening to your program. Okay? And the thing is this, I am continually hearing people talking about dealing with the symptoms and not the cancer. Okay?
I'm listening. Make your contribution.
Now, I remember in 1975-76, we were telling people, we were telling people that this country needs a spiritual rejuvenation. We said, what we meant by a spiritual rejuvenation is that the people, their minds, right now the spirit of the people is dead. All these are things that you're talking about are the symptoms of the real thing. Lack of political blindness, social blindness, social and leadership blindness. And until we rejuvenate the spirit of the people and people have a vision, we have no leadership with any kind of vision at anything. We don't know where we're going.
Thank you so much for your contribution, caller. I want to ask, do we even say the national anthem in the nation's schools anymore? When I used to go to school every Monday, we used to have an assembly. I think it was every Monday or every day, I can't even remember. We would have an assembly, you'd say the national anthem, you'd stand at attention, then you would repeat the national pledge and put your hand across your chest. You know, we would recite the nation's watchwords, discipline, tolerance, and production. We were taught about the importance of all of these things in school. Are these things still practiced in the nation's schools? Hi, good afternoon, caller. You are live.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, my dear. Could you please speak up? I can barely hear you.
I could barely hear you too. Good afternoon.
Yes, my dear. Good afternoon.
You're looking as beautiful as usual, I must say.
Thank you.
The school, you know what happened in this country? We have too much a double standard. And I make no apology for saying that. I agree, yes. In the household, we boxed up with the parents.
Right.
Yes, the parents must train the children. And let me give you a little example. Sunday gone, just this Sunday gone, my son is 35 years of age. We just lied, he just drink a little beer, I just drink a little beer. And we was at a bar having some beers, four of us. I was drinking Carib, he was drinking Heineken Light. The barman was selling Heineken Light for $12. Somebody gave my son $25 to bring 2 Heineken Light. So my son carried the money, apparently didn't open the money. He carried just tell the barman, give him 2 Heineken Light. He came back with the 2 Heineken Light and $6 change. So he asked the person, when he come back, the person said, how you get $6 or $12 for Heineken Light? He said, yeah, how much money you give me? The person said, well, $25. The barman make a mistake and give him $6 change. The barman told us $30 for that my son gave to him. So my son said, oh gosh, I said, carry it back and give the man and tell him he made the mistake. You didn't know that was $30 or $25. Carry back the $5 and give the man. And this is what we have to do. Now, one of your previous caller was saying that he's not blaming the Minister of National Security. It comes in a wider scheme. Now, they boxed up with me home here, but at the bigger picture, it's up at another level. Now, if the Minister of National Security responsible for national security in this country, so to the Minister of Education responsible for education, so to the Minister of Health responsible for health. If there is no medication in the hospitals, you have to blame the Minister of Health for that.
You have to blame the nurse. By the caller's logic, you have to blame the nurse if you don't have any medication in the hospital.
Prove the order, but eventually the buck will have to stop with the Minister of Health at that scenario. So too with the Minister of National Security. Look at the 4 killing in lab in Sobo this week on here.
Right.
Last night, you hear in the news, the inspector admit that yes, they had a report against the guy since last week, Thursday.
Right.
A week after this Thursday, the guy come and killed 4 people. Now, the normal police officers have to report to the inspector.
Caller, I think the call dropped, but interesting point, interesting direction you were going, and I can agree with you. Welcome to call back. Hi, good afternoon, caller. You're live.
Hi, Ms. Cole.
Yes, my dear.
There are just 3 points I want to make.
Yes.
On this topic. One is that yes, the parents have a responsibility, and so too do the teachers. There's no dispute on that. I think everybody agrees on that. But you know, we talk about role models in society, and when you have a prime minister telling people, meet me on the pavement, I will fight you on the pavement, because that's what he's insinuated. And secondly, the Minister of Education is in Parliament being abusive with another parliamentarian, obscene language. What kind of role models do these children have? And you talk about there is no consequence to these children's behavior. Well, there is no consequence to the Prime Minister's behavior, and the Minister of Education behavior, and the Minister of National Security. That's all I want to say. And that's why we're getting what we're getting in Trinidad today. And unless we wake up and smell the coffee, we will not understand. And we will blame all over the place for the problems that are happening. Those, to my mind, are the principal issues right now that need to be addressed. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for another perspective on the discussion. But guys, meet me on the pavement. When you have your Prime Minister, you know, in no uncertain terms, you know, carrying himself as a leader in that particular manner, and I have to hit the Prime Minister this evening because it didn't come from anybody else's mouth, it came from his. But to add insult to injury, not only did he say that, but I saw 3 opposition members jump up to grand charge, calling the Prime Minister's bluff. To, you know, and those 3 would be Rodney Charles, Rudal Munilal, and Barry Padarat, going to meet the Prime Minister out on the pavement. When you have these people as leaders, and that is the kind of example you are, they set without any sort of repercussions, that has to give you some sort of idea as to why we are here. Caller, you're live. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Ms. Cole.
Yes, good afternoon.
Hello?
Yes, my dear, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Something has to be done. This could not happen in a place like Singapore. Laws will have to be made. This thing is out of hand. It's ridiculous. I know the problem with this country. We have no little children. Everybody big and everybody younger. That is the root of our social problem in this country. They have no old people and they have no children. Everybody is big and everybody young. So there is nowhere you can draw the line. Something has to be done about this. It will get worse. Laws will have to be made to curb this kind of behavior. It's out of hand. Just so you can no police presented here, you know, because they'll beat him. I have seen that happen in my school that's very far from me. They have man trying to intervene on some behavior that was going on in the street, a fight. And they beat the man. School and beat him. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your contribution, my dear. As I said, when I was growing up, I wouldn't dare take God out of my thoughts to, you know, be seen or caught loitering after school. Why are they not home? I mean, look at how much of look at how much of them, you know, huddled together in a little mob, making trouble. And I'm seeing that that they are on, I think it's Park Street, and they're heading down Frederick Street. So I would like to think that, you know, most of them on their way to get the transportation to go to school. Could you imagine your parents spending money, hundreds and thousands of dollars in transportation for you to go to school, and instead of you find yourself to school and back to your house, you're looking for trouble for your parents, caller, you're live.
Hello, good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes, my dear, good afternoon.
The role models that we would normally look up at in our country, they're letting us down, right? When you have people, as I talk about in parliament, parliamentarians on both sides behaving in a certain manner, when you have teachers, elders, people who hold high position in society, people who hold high position in the executives, people who hold some of the highest position in the land, behaving in such manner, right? It seems as though that they want to make their own laws. They don't want to obey the Constitution, right?
Right.
And what do you leave for these children to do? You understand? Children have a mind of their own, but at times they want to follow the leader, right? So when you have, didn't a leader of this country call some children hyenas? You remember that?
Yes, hyenas in an African jungle.
Yes, hyenas in an African jungle. Probably he detected something. Probably children behaving like hyenas because they're following the leader. You understand? So sometimes we when we want to look up at people and they behave in such a way, we feel that is the way to go. You understand?
Right.
You know what is a canal conch? A canal conch is this little black conch that has been in smelly drain. When you have our leaders behaving like canal conchs, you could take out a canal conch, wash it in milk and leave it there. It will get back in that nasty, murky drain in that black water, right? It wants to live there, right? So the leaders in society who calling people all kind of, especially women, derogatory names, demeaning them, right? And saying all kind of nasty thing about them being, you know what I mean, like describing them as people, as what, golf course, and other parliamentarians as well too, you understand? And when the children look at the history of some of these people, what was said in Parliament channel is a channel that is broadcasted live for children to hear as well, you know, right? And when you hear people like who were living in Tobago saying nasty things about people from Tobago as well, who come across and want to come San Fernando as well in times of merriment and do things to certain school children and all kind of things under the pretext of carnival. You understand? All these nastiness that's going on in this country, follow the leader. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your contribution, caller. And we are, winding things down this evening as, we get ready to wrap up this evening's program. We have time just for one quick call because, we are out of time. When, you're discussing the real issues, the time runs really quickly. Caller, good afternoon. You're live. Final caller this evening.
Yeah, give a call back again.
Yes, my dear. Please make it really quicker. We're out of time.
Yeah. If somebody say so you're getting on like hyena, they may tell you you're the hyena, you know. They're telling you the attitude, what you're getting on it. It's getting like if you're the hyena. People make it look like if the man called each other hyena and all them kind of things. Yeah? Look, it's a man in Parliament that call man think mouth and all kind of things. You know, they wouldn't talk about all them things.
I mean, we really don't have time this evening for the tit and the tat and who say and who didn't say and who wanted to say one thing and mean something else.
On one side.
But what is said, and I'm dealing with the antics and the actions of the children earlier today from Tranquility Government School, as well as the fight that happened this evening in Port of Spain on Park and Frederick Street, the behavior of the children. Now, I mean, we have run out of time. Unfortunately, we have run out of time. Children, do better. Parents, you have to understand that it is your duty, it is your responsibility. There is something called parental responsibility as it relates to children. And it is your duty as a parent to nurture your children, to train your children, to educate your children, in addition to providing, the run-of-the-mill needs of your children, food, housing, so on and so forth. You have to do better, because if you as a parent continue to allow your children to go down this particular road, there is only one place your child is going to end up. And from what I understand, there is no room in the cemeteries. There is no room. You cannot, if you want to bury a dead as it stands now in the West, you don't have a hole for you to put them children in. So thank you so much for viewing and for tuning into this evening's program. I do hope that each and every one of you have a lovely weekend. Look out for the rerun of the programs on Saturdays and Sundays. Saturday tomorrow and Sunday between 4:45 and 5:45 p.m. on Synergy TV. We see you on Monday on The Cold Truth, where we discuss the issues that affect each and every one of us. Thank you so much for doing
Ladies and gentlemen, our country is falling apart.
The nation is in mourning tonight.
Our institutions are failing. Crime is out of control. It is our duty to fix it. We are touching on every sector of society. Race, class, and corruption. Nothing is off limit. No holds barred. The Cold Truth with Kim Cole. The power belongs to the people. Join us right here Monday to Sunday, 4:45 p.m. to 5:45 p.m.